Welcome everyone to our radio series, Fighting Peace in Turmoil. This program is brought to you by the joint efforts of meditation master Minh Niem and the meditation psychotherapy communities, Mindful Living Land in several places. This radio series is streamed every week on YouTube and podcast on the only official channel, Minh Niem. Dear everyone, it can be said that most national and international news agencies have predominantly devoted their pages to publish news on the coronavirus in the past few months. That's an indication of the complex and dangerous infectiousness of the disease that has caused the infection and death tolls to grow exponentially by days, despite the continuing effort to enhance anti-pandemic strategies across nations. In this way, most countries have put in place social distancing interventions in hopes of slowing down the infection rate of the disease. Many countries have extended the time frame for social distancing through several periods, each lasts 2 to 3 weeks. Vietnam also went through a period of social distancing of 2 weeks. It also went for an additional week in metropolitan cities. As of now, Vietnam is still very cautious in loosening up the measures because the rate of reinfection can be very high through careless contact within the community, and the hidden dangers of coronavirus is its high probability of testing positive again. Our second radio episode, titled We Need to Be Quarantined at Times, hope to share with everyone some practices during the quarantine period to strengthen our spiritual and physical immune system, as well as not creating any further negative energy or hindrance in our cooperation with the government's confinement direction. Up next, we invite you to listen to the Dharma talk, We Need to Be Quarantined at Times, by meditation master Minh Niem.
Dear everyone, may you all be well and full of awareness. You know that a wounded tiger would withdraw into its cave to tend its wound. It knows that no one but itself can heal its wound. It may take several days to several weeks to stay in its cave, especially not to go out hunting, because it knows that if it does, it might be attacked and killed by other wild beasts. And even if it managed to catch prey, it wouldn't be able to digest the flesh anyway, because it has run out of energy. It has to endure and use all of its strength to tang and lick the wounds. When wounded, we also suffer and feel depleted. So just like the tiger, we should have retreated to lick our wounds and recover by loving ourselves, and also not go hunting, not grasping anything out there, whether they are successes or winning people over. We must put all of our efforts into returning to love ourselves. Then only there will be some hope for healing our wounds. Some young people visited a few Vipassana forest meditation centers. They dared to put aside all their business outside, although they were very much busy and had various responsibilities. These young individuals were aware that they really needed to recharge their energy, recover, and heal, because they knew that if they were to continue, they might break down. Entering the meditation forest, they were able to cut off the outside world, cut off all the contacts not to use mobile phones, not to talk or even look at each other, and only focus on their practice. During those 10 days, 2 or even more weeks there, some might have even stayed for several months. The minimum result achieved was that they were able to do something that they had never thought they would be able to. And that was to isolate from the outside world, from all the places where they used to be glorified, admired, and loved, where the ego had always been inflated, and where all the material and emotional comfort had been readily available. Staying in a meditation forest center, one not only has to abide by the rules of the center, but also practice meditation for tens of hours every single day. Meditate, meditate, and meditate. Return to oneself, return to oneself, and return to oneself. One might think that it would be impossible in the first few days. We are not used to connecting to ourselves, after all. But it's a one-way street with no return. Finally, those practitioners manage to do it, and the fruits they reap after 10 days of several weeks in the forest center help them to rejuvenate, heal the wounds within their soul, and reveal profound insights to also deepen the meaning of their life. Albert Einstein was an exceptional physicist of the world, and a genius who said that if one were to follow the crowd, one would go no farther than the crowd. Certainly, as a human being, we need the crowd, but they also hold us up and compel us to walk along with them. Therefore, we are unable to be any different and live to our beautiful true values. The crowd could also drain off so much of our energy, so we shouldn't always be with the crowd. At times, we should isolate and return to our own world, because aloneness or loneliness are the true homes of geniuses. No genius would hang on to human relations all the time. They would constantly have to face themselves so that they could fully unveil all the talents. The Buddha said that they need to be alone if we want to develop to our wisdom and reach our full potential given to us by the universe. Because the science has shown that we are using only 10% of our brain. Therefore, if we haven't experienced a period of facing ourselves, isolating from things that deplete our energy every day and make us become ordinary, and only left with greed, anger, and reveal just low worldly natures and no shakely quality within us, then we will always remain mediocre. So anyone who wants to develop themselves, especially spiritual values deep down, must all learn how to isolate from the external factors or be alone. Currently, coronavirus pandemic is widespread across the globe and extremely dangerous. The numbers of infections casualties are increasing, and the most of nations had issued a social distancing order. In essence, every citizen must stay at home and not to go out, meaning that isolate from the outside, except for those absolutely essential circumstances. In the last few months, Vietnam has done very well to manage the spread, but it's still very hard to tell because the pandemic is extremely obscure and sly. Its infectiousness is incomprehensible. Therefore, if we lost control of the situation, the government would have no choice but to request us to cooperate. Everyone will need to practice social distancing, and we will get to return home, return to ourselves. So, let's look at it not as enforcement, obligation, and humiliation, but as an opportunity, a genuine opportunity, because we have never dared or been determined enough to retreat for so long and so far inward. If we know how to wisely use the 14 days of quarantine, we may reap incredible results. So let's look at those 14 days as the 14 days for self-development. If we have emotional wounds, we heal our soul. And if we don't, we uplift our soul. In my opinion, to have a quality day of self-quarantine, there should be 4 goals for our practice. The first one is physical development. We must spend time to train physically. Previously, we were so busy, we didn't have time to play any favorite sports, even though we know there are some issues with our health. We still don't have enough courage to put aside a few hours a day for training. So there's a great opportunity, and we should try to train until we sweat. The best way to uplift the spirit for a person suffering from depression is to exercise, jogging, doing martial arts, boxing, roller skating, push-ups. If we cannot go to the gym or for a run outside, just turn our room into a place where we can work out regularly. You know that it is very tough to divide our mental and physical health once the health deteriorated. But physical health is still easier to be restored than mental health. And when physical health is up, so will mental health. Therefore, during those days of quarantine or returning to ourselves, our exercise routine should ramp up to 2, 3, 4, or even 5 times more than usual. The second thing that we need to practice on is connecting deeply with nature. The nature of the universal energy is miraculous and precious. It can cure many physical and mental wounds of ours. It may have stayed too long in air-conditioned rooms, the car and office, and hardly had the chance to go outside to enjoy the fresh air or sit still and open all our senses to connect with the universal energy. This is our chance to do so. We might water the plants, we might go for a walk, or sit still and inhale deeply. We get to be outdoors one way or the other. Be it in the balcony or just by the open window is alright. Be in contact with greeneries, sunlight, listen to birds singing. Those are the invaluable opportunities for us to receive the nourishing energy that the universe has given us. Who knows that? It may be thanks to that energy we get from connecting with nature and the universe. Coronavirus may not dare to pay us a visit after all. The third practice is deep thinking. Instead of the everyday shallow thinking, impulsiveness where we only utilize very little of our knowledge, our acquired wisdom and experience, we practice slow living and deep thinking so that we have the chance to get in touch with more profound understanding by reading good books, spending time to ponder certain meaningful matters, and remember to write journal about our discoveries and new realizations too. We can contemplate why we tend to lose temper, why we are so conservative, and not willing to open up and listen? Why the relation between us and a certain someone is so challenging? Why we become so worried and afraid when the pandemic happens? And is all different from the belief we have for ourselves that we are so strong, or where the disease came from, what we or our community or humankind have done cumulatively to contribute to the occurrence of this pandemic. Those are the subjects that we should think deeply about. We need to think by ourselves and not merely believe in what we read on the news or what others expound. The fourth factor is meditation. Practice living in the state of not thinking about the past or future, and only dwell deeply and consistently in the present moment. Whether we are sitting still, whether we are drinking a cup of tea or coffee, whether we are watching the clouds pass by or evergreen foliage, whether we are doing all the many tasks like cleaning, cooking, and tidying up, we can meditate while doing all these works, because the meditation is a state of awareness, knowing everything happening around us and also within our mind. With these four factors, I believe that just one day, whether it is in quarantine or returning to ourselves, we will have a full source of energy. We will have an excellent immune system, and we will surely have peace and be in real touch with life. And if we have more than a day, 7, 10, or 14 days to connect deeply with ourselves, with nature, as well as our loved ones, it will indeed be an invaluable opportunity, a toolkit from coronavirus. And hopefully, if you have the chance to experience some time in quarantine, please cooperate well with the government as per our citizens' duties and highest responsibility to ourselves. I wish you all success.
Why do we have to be terrified when given an opportunity to stop and truly experience an important part of our life? The confusion and fearfulness when living in a state of not having anything interesting to do or having to face ourselves have indicated that we are an individual leading a shallow life, and we might have lost the very divine human part of a human being. We now invite you to listen to The Power of Stopping, an excerpt from the book There's Nothing to Fear, written by Master Minh Niem, narrated by Michael Dao.
and we might have lost the very divine human part of a human being.
Following is a speech of intellectuality and a high sense of responsibility, modesty, nurture, and humanity by the leader of Germany, politician Angela Merkel, which has got the whole world to take the hat off to. Mr. Marcus Vũ Mạnh Cương has translated into Vietnamese as Germany's Prime Minister Angela Merkel gave the live speech on ARD TV channel in the evening of the 18th of March 2020. We invite you now to listen to the excerpt, which is also the most crucial part of the sharing, through the voice of Bernard Richard Adams.
You can fly, passing your wing in home. Cloud the world of play, breaking your toe with home. From every concept of his taping, colors of the world is message up to say. Promise is broken, alive in I go. It's a sacred love. Since night so bright, everything never the same. We learn, grow up so what we let your beautiful soul close up so what we last time we say it told love. The world you can fly, passing your wing in home. Cloud the world of play, breaking your toe with home.
This is 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 this is